What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Nerd Lounge 2.0. My name is Austin. This is my beautiful, amazing, perfect, awesome wife, Ray. We are your friendly neighborhood movie review watch couple, movies and shows. And it is Zombie Week here at the Nerd Lounge. So we watched a bunch of different zombie movies, and we're going to talk about them. We're supposed to rank them?
We can rank them. I didn't rank mine either. But I'll just tell you, the score I gave it.
I was thinking of the scoring in terms of instead of just out of 10, how we rank it, but how stressful it was. Can you think of that, or do you have a ranking out of 10 of
we can just rank them.
Okay, but then we could also say if we thought it was stressful or not, because my wife took her heart rate monitor on her Apple Watch, so she has a spike rating of her heart rate on all the movies.
Some of the movies,
not all of them, but some of them. To start things off, one of our super amazing followers, Wubs, sent in a suggestion for a question: who would win, the original X-Men team or the original Avengers team in a fight? And there actually is an X-Men vs. Avengers comic storyline, so it's an actual fight that took place. I don't know the outcome, but do you have a suggestion?
I think X-Men.
I mean, the X-Men are crazy strong. Just because you're a mutant, even though you have a regular power, your body is stronger.
Yeah.
Than a human's body. You know.
I think X-Men would win.
Even the weakest mutant is probably stronger than Hawkeye or Black Widow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because your body's mutated. Mm-hmm. So it's probably who do you think would be the matchups? It would probably be Cyclops versus who did we say? Cyclops versus Cyclops versus Iron Man? Is that who we said?
I don't remember what we said.
It would be Wolverine versus Hulk, they fought, or no, Cyclops versus Captain America. That would be a fun fight.
Oh, yeah, because Austin said because his shield.
Yeah, it would probably be, and if we're going branching out, if we're putting Doctor Strange in there, he could probably face Magneto, and then Scarlet Witch could face Phoenix, which would be a sick fight. Professor Xavier would probably wreck everybody. Not according to Multiverse of Madness, but...
Yeah, I know.
But what about you guys? What do you guys think? Who would win, the original X-Men team or the original Avengers team? And who would you face? Who would you put them against in 1v1 fights? So, yeah. That's a cool little question for you guys. Also, have you watched anything interesting this week that's not zombie related?
I don't think so. I think I watched my usual 90 Day Fiancé and then 90 Day Fiancé Last Resort. That's my go-to thing
and
to watch
Alone.
On Monday and Tuesdays. That's when the new episodes come out.
If you guys have any suggestions for either reality TV or survival TV, we love survival shows. We've watched that show Outlast on Netflix, Alone, Naked and Afraid, all these shows. If you guys have any suggestions for stuff like that, let us know in the comments. That stuff is super great. We love that kind of stuff. I don't think I watched anything interesting either this week. I watched the first Dune several times, but that was about it.
Yeah, I don't
just
think
to try to
get other than what we were watching for this. I don't think we watched very many other movies
because we were trying to gear up for the zombie episode.
Yeah,
true. Okay, all right, guys, we're gonna move right into our nerd breaker, which I prepared. These are gonna be 10 Marvel, so they're Marvel heroes. So I was going to do Marvel and DC, but I just did Marvel, and then maybe next time we can do DC. These are obscure or different comic book heroes, because there's thousands of Marvel comic book characters. And I want you to try to guess the name of the character.
Oh, this is fun.
Right?
Not really.
Yeah, so my wife is going to try to guess the name of the character based on just the picture, and I'll put the picture on the video as well. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
All right, first one.
No idea.
Just make the fun part is make a random name.
Lady Gun.
She's called Asbestos Lady.
Oh.
I don't know why. I looked her up. I'm looking up all these characters on Marvel Wiki, and she's called Asbestos Lady.
Okay,
yeah.
Never heard of her. Never seen her.
Lady Gun. That was a good. See,
Lady Gun.
Just take what you know, what you can see, and try to make a character.
I mean, Lady was in there, so I get that.
You get half a point.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Starfighter.
Starfighter? Do you have any other kind of guesses? That's a good guess. Starfighter.
Green Twilight. I don't know.
Green Twilight? She's called Time Slip.
Okay.
She has time powers.
Oh.
Yeah. Next one.
You nerds are gonna love this.
Right?
Bookworm.
What?
Nice! I don't even know who that is.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
That was your actual guess?
Yeah. I'm pretty good. I'm not good.
That was really good.
Thanks, babe.
I'm gonna give you 700 points.
Okay.
For that. You actually called him Bookworm?
Yeah.
You saw the clip.
I don't know who this is.
You saw the slide.
No, I didn't. I don't know who that is.
That was your first guess?
Yes, Richard. How many times are you gonna ask? His name is Richard right now. It's pissing me off. Yes, that was my first guess.
All right, here we go. Look at his character design.
I know. I'm just gonna go Alphabet Man.
Hey, that's like
Letter Man.
Honestly, that's a really close answer. He's called Typeface.
Typeface. Okay.
Yeah, very obscure. I chose the most random character names I could find. Here's one.
I don't know. This one's hard.
Yeah, he's like kind of a weird one.
I don't know.
I'm gonna give you a hint for this one. Dude, try to guess a name, and I'll give you a hint for it.
I don't know. Harpoon guy.
Harpoon guy? Okay, he has a fireplace.
Oh, pokey? I don't know what they're called.
Fireplace poker.
Uh-huh.
Going through his
eye. Poker eye?
Poker face.
That is so dumb.
He's called Poker Face, yeah. The other clue I was going to say, I have a really bad one of these when I play in the casinos, which I don't do, by the way. All right, next one. That was good. This guy. I think he's an X-Men. He's got the X logo.
This is gonna take us a minute. We're gonna be here for a minute.
It's all right.
But of course you can
Yeah, I'll edit
break
around.
it down, cut it down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Rocket League. That's what I'm gonna call him.
He's called Rockslide.
I was close.
Yeah. I thought you were
Rocket
almost going to
League.
get this one.
Yeah.
I think there's also a character named Avalanche. I'm not sure if it's like Marvel or I think there's a character named Avalanche. Like any cool name, I'm sure there's a character for it. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, this guy.
Call him Finger Morph. I don't even
Finger
know.
Morph? He's called Skin.
How? When it's whatever.
Something about his skin. He's got
Look
like
at
stretchy
his fingers,
skin.
though.
But it's like his, I don't know, he's got skin. He's a skin guy. All right, here we go.
He looks very Thor-y.
Okay.
Gargoyle Thor. Gargoyle Thor.
Gargoyle Thor? That's a cool name. He's called Beta Ray Bill.
Like, I was gonna guess that.
I don't know.
Scarecrow?
Sure, that's a DC character.
Oh, that is, huh? So I'm gonna
Think along that same line.
What's it called? Hay.
What are scarecrows made out of?
They're made out of hay.
But what is another name for hay?
Can't think of it right now.
Okay, well, what's your guess? You got a guess?
Hay Man.
He's called Straw Man.
Straw Man. Okay.
Straw Man. Okay. All right.
At least I got the man part right. I got Hay Man.
Yeah, she
instead of
did.
Straw Man.
Actually, the fact that you got Bookworm, I thought was very impressive.
Exactly.
So, everybody, props to my wife for that one. That was our Nerd Breaker The first zombie movie we're going to talk about is 28 Days Later. If you guys have seen it, let us know how you feel about it in the comments.
Also, this is not ranking order. This is just the movies we've watched. They're going to be in a random order as we talk about them. And at the end, we'll do not really a ranking, but like...
Well, as we finish, as we kind of get to the end of like the discussion for each one, we can kind of give our little rating.
Yeah, like if we liked it, didn't like it. If we give it a score, we give it a score.
Skip it or list it, give it a score or not, or how stressful we think it was, or anything like that. So we'll talk about 28 Days Later. I don't think I've ever seen this movie all the way through, except maybe like the last like 30 minutes of it, where the guy got like the drop of blood in his eye and stuff like that. But how do you feel about it?
I thought it was... I'm going to say what I thought it was like right now, because I have to. That's just how I roll.
Well, it's been out for 20 years, so...
I thought it was good. I'm not a big zombie like film watcher person because I have anxiety, and it stresses me out like to see all these zombies running towards like one person, and I'm like, where do they go? What do they do? Type of thing.
Sure.
But I thought it was really good. It was my first time watching it. I thought it was solid.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a very good movie. I liked, honestly, when we were watching it, we were like, whoa, it's like really old, because it looks like it's like very like, it seems like it's a very low budget movie, which is good. Cillian Murphy's in it, Naomi Harris is in it, Brendan Gleeson is in it.
Characters.
Limited cast, but it's very stressful. It's very good. It's hot. It's fast paced. It's a short film. It's not very long, so yeah, I'm glad we watched it. I thought it was really good. It's definitely an important part of the zombie filmography in the world, you know? So, but yeah, I would probably give it like a 8 out of 10 stressful. It was pretty stressful.
I give it
or just your whatever ranking.
I give it like a 9 out of 10 for me. My highest rate for this movie was 107 heartbeats per minute. So, or per minute per second.
Per minute.
Per minute. Yeah.
Per second would be very, very bad.
Pretty high, in my opinion. I also, like, with these movies, tend to, like, hold my breath a lot because I'm like, I don't know what is about to happen.
Sure.
But also, I thought the makeup was pretty good. That's a big key part within, zombie films, is if the makeup is realistic, if it's believable. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I would watch it now again, since I've seen it already, like, fully, without being like, or but there was a lot of screaming also going on with these films.
To my wife's credit, watching these zombie movies, one thing that she does sometimes is she reads the spoilers of the movie, but she did not read any spoilers for any of these movies. Nope. So props to that. The number 2 zombie movie on the list is 28 Weeks Later, the sequel to 28 Days Later. And we will definitely watch 28 Years Later.
Yeah. Not in June.
Starring Jeremy Renner and Rose Byrne and Imogen Poots and a bunch of other people. I thought it was not as good as the first. It definitely, I feel like it's set up like this whole thing that like, oh, we have everything contained, and then like everything just went to crap in like 10 minutes.
Right. So.
And Idris Elba was in it.
Was that your favorite part?
I'm just saying.
Idris Elba?
I'm just saying who was in it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You do? I bet you do.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah, he's hot.
I thought it was really good. The only thought that I had while watching this film was that why would you bring in someone who has the wife that the husband left and he thought she got eaten? Why would you bring her in, put her in containment, take her blood, look in her eyes, see that she has like the virus in one of her eyes? If you guys haven't seen this movie, skip it because I'm going to spoil some stuff. But if you have, then you're good. And then the doctor looks at her blood cells on the computer and she sees that her blood cells are like mutating. And then not say, hey, to someone, like not inform another person like, hey, she is infected. We need to like get her out of here.
But she was like patient 0 or something.
I understand that. But then also, then why would you allow her to have an unsupervised visitor? There was no one there to supervise what was going on.
But did he like sneak in, or was he like somehow like checked in?
I think those doors have locks on them.
Oh.
So I think you have to have a swipe card or something like that to let a person in.
Oh. Did he But he had but it showed that he had like some kind of access card in the beginning. Do you think he like used that to get by?
Maybe. It's like no one was like even so like monitoring her nearby. It's like you set that, obviously they set the movie up to be what the movie is. I get that.
Yeah.
This movie, there was some parts that did like obviously stress me out, like in the beginning when all the zombies are running towards him through the field and he's trying to get the boat started. That is when I had the highest rate of my heart.
Yeah,
and that was 107 as well.
Okay.
But also the movie seemed very short.
It was super short. That's actually a good point. It was really short. It was very abrupt.
Yeah.
Things happened really fast. Like, this movie could have been 2 movies, kind of a thing. Like, that's my big argument for a lot of these movies. When things happen this fast, it could have been 2 movies, or just an extra 30 minutes, or something.
And then it kind of just ends. It ends with like the little boy being bitten. Sister looks in his eye. Oh, he has the eye that looks like the mom's eye. That looks like he has an infection.
But then, did he have like the immune gene? The carrier gene.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in all the little end clips, remember, it shows like the helicopter is empty and now they're in Paris. So I don't know if they got to Paris and he like went rogue and turned and then like.
I guess we'll find out in the next. I guess
we'll find out. Yeah, short movie though. It was okay.
I love Jeremy Renner. He's awesome. So
he was in it for He
was in it for like 20 minutes.
I'll say. Because the movie was short, so he was in maybe half.
He was there for like half the movie, yeah.
And it was just him basically almost being Hawkeye, just like taking down people and hiding behind buildings. You know what I mean? So
he pretty much just was.
Yeah.
Maybe they saw that. They say, "Hey, we need a guy who's a sniper. Let's put him in the movie."
And then he's like, "Yeah, like okay, I'll meet you guys there." And then you like get yourself burned alive. Like I thought he was gonna do like this sick stunt, like roll in the smoke and like come around, and, like get out of there,
and like meet him, or like think he was dead and then come back, but no, he got burned up.
Yeah,
he got real burned up. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Was it better than the first one?
No, first one was better.
Yeah,
way
definitely.
better.
28 Days Later is definitely definitely 20 years later now. It's a classic zombie movie for sure.
What's number 3 movie we're gonna talk about?
Number 3 movie we're gonna talk about is Dawn of the Dead, 2004, okay. Zack Snyder. I like this movie a lot. This movie is a very classic zombie movie, I think. Very good, short, sweet, to the point zombie movie. Mm-hmm. Things start happening and they just keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't. I've seen Dawn of the Dead before. Didn't really remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I've seen it a long time ago as well.
Honestly, Hari for this movie was like 90. Wasn't too high.
You weren't as stressed out during this movie. I wasn't as
stressed out, and I think it's because there was like someone asked a question on our TikTok. We did a live stream yesterday for like 8 hours, and someone asked if we preferred rage zombies or what was the other one? Rage zombies or some other kind of zombie. And I think that's why. It's because there wasn't a lot of rage zombies. I think the rage zombies are the more ones that come like in packs or that are more aggressive.
Like the Horde?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of that in this movie. Of course, they were all like...
Well, at the end, they were all... Like, it started out in the beginning, there was like 10, 20, 30. And then at the end, there was like 7,000 of them. Remember when they would go in those buses and stuff?
Yeah, but...
So they kept growing. The pandemic, the swarm kept growing.
I had a lot of comments in this movie, like at the end. Remember, I was like, "Why would you do that? You're stupid." Because like the whole like bus thing, and it was a lot of dumb choices and decisions made.
Yeah, I agree with like, I will never buy the Mekhi Phifer character with like his wife. He's like, "Oh, it's my baby," but like she's clearly a zombie and she's giving birth to a zombie, and you're like, "But it's my family." It's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, sorry, babe, but if you have a zombie bite,
you're gonna let me go?
You're going down.
Dang.
If I had a zombie bite, you would put me down easy.
But also, like, no one checked on them, obviously, for...
Oh, they were left unchecked for, like, hours. Yeah,
and it's like, y'all don't think this is weird?
And then, like, that lady from, like, the other truck that came in, clearly infected.
Yeah, that's another thing. Why would you bring...
That big lady.
I mean, they took her out, but, like, why would you bring an infected person in? You know something's wrong with her.
And, like, the dad guy who was, like, obviously also clearly infected, it's like, you've learned very early on that, like, the bites is what passes it.
Right.
So, it's like, if I see any inkling of that, I'm gonna have something to say about it.
Really? Okay, well.
Yeah. You would, too.
You would get taken out before.
If I was like, babe, I'm going to get some supplies, and then I came back, and then I was like, oh, man, you would be like,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would do it myself.
I love him too much.
I would spare myself and you guys. Like the guy in the end. I'll watch the sunset or the sunrise.
Yeah, but also like that part too. It's like, oh, now these zombies are moving at like super slow speed. Oh, and they were right there. It took them like 20 minutes
to get like over that wreckage. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I'm growing a love for zombie movies, but I'm also learning that some of them are. I know they're for pure entertainment, obviously, but some of them are also really dumb. Like the setup of them. And yeah, they're old.
Yeah.
But a lot of questionable things.
Yeah, I agree. Dawn of the Dead. How would you rank it? This one for me is not very stressful. I'll probably give it like a 6 out of 10 stressful.
Same. You're like a 6. Yeah. Maybe a 7.
It's a good zombie movie. It's definitely a classic. Go watch it, but it's pretty run of the mill.
Yeah. The other part that peeved me about this film, I understand. I love Scooby with everything that I have in me, as much as I obviously love my human children. But I'm not going after a dog into a building where Andy has been infected and they're telling her you have to go now and she's still not going. There's no way.
Yeah.
I love you, Scooby. They're not going to eat you because they don't eat dogs. I'll find you.
Apparently not, because the dog was still safe afterwards.
Right. I'll find you.
I think they just seen that the door opened.
But just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And didn't even tell anyone.
Yeah. No.
Didn't even tell anyone. She just took off.
But they had to move the plot forward somehow.
Dang dogs, man.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the only thing that peeved me, because there's no way. There's no way. Especially when you have other humans. Like, it'd be different if it was just you and your dog, and that was, like, the only other living thing that you had with you. But the fact that you have, like, 6 other humans with you.
Yeah.
You're not, like, alone. You're not, like, stressed.
Sure.
And you can play catch with another person.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That was the last thing for that movie. That just really irritated the crap out of me.
I agree with that part. All right. Speaking of zombie movies that are kind of weird and dumb, The Dead Don't Die is the number 4 zombie movie on our list that we're talking about. I don't like this movie.
No?
No. What? It's ridiculous and dumb.
It is ridiculous. But what I will say on what I like about this movie is in the fact that we're not to this movie yet, but there's something from this movie that I want to incorporate into The Dead Don't Die, is that Bill Murray pretended to be a zombie in Zombieland and then went back into The Dead Don't Die.
He got shot.
Yeah, and then he was the sheriff. And he's a sheriff. And in the end, he probably turns into a zombie because he gets like mostly eaten. But
yeah.
I've never seen him play like zombie movies besides like these 2 films. Well, he wasn't really a zombie in Zombieland. We'll get to that though. Anyways, I liked it though.
Like Ghostbusters, he was in kind of like a ghost hunting movie.
I mean, yeah, that's Ghostbusters though. Aww. Sorry, they're cuddling. I will say though, with The Dead Don't Die, also a part that irritated me is that like what's the name? What's the girl's chick? What's the girl's chick? What's the girl's name that's in
Tilda Swinton?
Yeah. She's like, I know it's supposed to be like a goofy film, but like she basically like took the police station to use the computer so that she can get beamed up to go home.
Is that what the whole thing was, like sending a signal or something?
Because she's like an alien.
The whole alien thing, that's the reason why, like, I just wish it was like a zombie movie in a small town with the sheriff and everybody dies. I would much rather have that than like some random UFO coming down and beaming her up. Yeah. And then they still are like, we're heroic, and then they still die. And then like the hermit guy in the woods is like, oh, hey, they're dead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
it was a gimmicky movie.
Like the last, like if this movie ended before the spaceship thing, it would have been like a much better film for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also that the zombies were like of sound mind. Like they would go back and be like, oh, coffee.
They had like memories.
Coffee.
No, it's not that they're sound mind, but they had like
memories. Yeah. Or they were going to the hardware store to get stuff from the hardware store, supposedly.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm going to give it like a 3 out of 10 stressful. Not very stressful for me.
Not stressful at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not your typical zombie like movie.
But even with like Adam Driver and Bill Murray, it's not even that funny.
No.
It wasn't even that funny. And you got Danny Glover in here. I don't know. I'm going to say skip it. This
Don't
movie,
watch it.
yeah, don't even worry about it. A movie that I was very surprised about, number 5 on the zombie movie watching list, The Night Eats the World. I believe it's like a French film or some kind of a foreign film, but they speak English. They speak English in the movie. I was actually thoroughly surprised by this movie. I enjoyed watching it. I will say that they could have cut down like time where the guy himself was alone to have a better ending. But we can go into that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I kind of like the ending because it leaves it.
It was very open.
Omnious. There's so many words. Ominous.
Ambiguous.
Stop.
That's what you're trying to say.
It leaves it very like
open-ended.
And I kind of like that because it leaves you guessing on like what's next. It gives them room that if they wanted to make a second film, they totally could.
Sure.
I do like the fact that he did a lot to try to like entertain himself, obviously.
That part about like him being just alone and like surviving and not having much idea about what to do.
Like
sure.
This dude didn't even try to like find a radio. He was just like, he woke up and he's like, this is what's happening and I'll just, make it work to what I can.
Yeah.
The whole him writing the numbers, taking the keys from downstairs and writing the numbers on the things and then
like marking the doors.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart because you go and you take their food, you know. The part that surprised me in this movie though was when the girl, he poomed the girl and didn't mean to, brought her in, and then it shows like in the next scene that she's alive, and I'm thinking this whole time too, like, oh, like he saved her, but then
part of me thought that he did save her, but then the other part of me was like, it never showed enough of that saving part. It showed very specifically that he pulled out those like pellets of the shotgun, and then there was still so much blood. Yeah. So I was on the fence, and then when it showed that he was kind of having like the hallucinations, I was like, okay, it makes sense. But I think it was also his mind protecting himself kind of thing, What do you think?
I think it was a part of it was like, I'm not going to like go spiritually into this or anything. But I think it was a little bit of that because for him to think that she's saying to him, if you stay here, you're going to end up losing your mind. And then in turn for him to find out that he is in fact losing his mind.
Telling himself that essentially.
And that he decides to leave. And like in this like hallucination, she tells him like, I've just been hopping from roof to roof because they don't like heights. And then he goes and he does that. And he's looking at all the roofs he has to cross. I think, it was like internal self-reflection, but also like, okay, I can't stay here. So I thought that part was good.
Definitely very sad that
Alfred was sad, his little homie, but I thought it was cool for him to let him out of the cage.
And then it didn't eat him.
It didn't eat him. Because remember when he was talking to the girl who wasn't really there, he was like, oh no, because she was like, oh, who's that? And he was like, oh, he wouldn't harm you. He wouldn't harm us. Like, look at him.
Yeah.
Which
makes me think that they have some kind of
and then at the end,
mental capacity.
He lets him out and he puts him in his apartment.
And he walks right past him.
Goes in his apartment.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think it was maybe it was the guy's apartment, like the main character's apartment. But, and he just like walks in.
And he just kind of leaves him.
And the guy smiles. And then.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was what made this movie different.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Like him not being scared of like the zombies. He's like, I'm alone. I'm used to the zombies now, and now they're gone. So let me cause all this noise so I don't feel like I'm alone. I might get eaten, might not be here, but it doesn't make me feel as alone. You know what I mean? So I thought it was cool.
I liked it. It was a very like isolated thriller. It only takes place pretty much in that apartment building, which I thought was very, very cool. In the beginning, it shows like a couple people kind of like not making it, essentially trying to get out but not making it. I would give it like a 7 out of 10 stressful. At the end, it was a little bit stressful.
Yeah. My highest rate for this one was also 107.
Oh, so like average. So like you're reaching like a consistent heart rate.
Yeah, because it was good, but there were I think at the beginning was when my heart spiked the most of him waking up, him opening the door, seeing his ex-girlfriend, and then closing the door.
Did he actually? Oh, was it the girlfriend that was like
the ex-girlfriend.
She was turned?
Yeah, on the stairs, and then also when the person downstairs pum-pumed himself. Him going
through the
down
wall
there.
and then jumping, or through the ceiling and then jumping.
Going down there, I was like, oh my God, like what's about to happen? The thing about...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Because the guy pum-pumed his wife and then himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you notice, his wife's arms were taped to the chair.
Oh, you think she was already turning?
Maybe.
Mm.
And then
interesting.
And he pum-pumed himself, and I thought at some point, like when he was walking through and he put the blankets over them, that one of them was gonna get up. So my heart was like,
sure.
But nothing happened.
Yeah, it's definitely a slow burn. This one, it immediately starts though. Like the first part happens, and then the dude falls asleep and wakes up, and then after the first 10 minutes of the movie, it starts into like the zombie movie. So I would suggest you go watch it. I think it was, I liked it because I think it shows a decently accurate portrayal of what maybe any of us would do if we're just alone in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like we would probably try to go scavenge for food and try to be safe and smart and probably stay put. I don't know if much of us, if we probably say we would go out and be a warrior, but if we're safe and we're there and we're alive and have food, we'd probably stay put. I would probably stay put.
Yeah.
You know? All right. Number 6, I believe, on the zombie movie watch list. A movie that I watched for the first time, Train to Busan. Train to Busan. I'm going to guess my wife's most stressful part of this movie.
Bless me. Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I believe my wife's most stressful part of this movie was when they get onto like that train car and all the zombies are running after them in the train yard and they're like making that trail and they're holding onto the rails. That part?
That is pretty stressful. It is. There was 2 stressful parts for me in this movie. The first part is when they're deciding to go through all the buses of the train. And
in that train yard?
In that train. No, when they're on the train, they're like, we need to get to the next room.
They have to go to the next train cars.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
sure.
so those parts were stressful because I'm like, are they going to get through?
Oh, they're like climbing off like the top of them?
Yeah, there's like 20 zombies in each car. And
there's like 3 train cars to go through.
But they notice that when it's dark, they're low-key blind.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But it's just like, okay, like, it's like they're going through these tunnels. When does this tunnel end? That was stressful. It's like, they're doing this. Are they going to get caught? That was bad. And then the second part was when what do you call the drivers of the trains?
Conductor.
There we go. Of the single train when only the 3 people were on it was a zombie.
At the very end?
Yeah.
That wasn't the conductor. That was like a businessman.
Oh. That was scary.
Guy. That was the guy that threw the conductor out.
Oh.
And he like sacrificed him.
That was stressful because I was like, oh, like what are they
and he turned, but he was still like conscious. Yeah,
and then he like opens the door. He like is like banging at the door, and then he like looks down, opens the door, and then walks out, and it's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
You know. Actually no, and then third stressful part I feel like I had was at the end.
The very end?
The very end when the daughter and the lady who was pregnant is walking through the tunnel and they're like, just, you know, take him out.
Oh, but then they're saying survivors.
And then she started singing the song. Oh. And then they were like, don't do it. And, you know.
It's survivivors, yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty stressful. Because I'm like, if you do all that and you don't make it to safety somehow.
Yeah. Because it's definitely not inaccurate to think that highly trained military personnel would be not as patient, I think, waiting for people to say, hey, are you a human or not, you know? Sorry, go ahead.
So my highest rate for this one, I'm going to let you guess what my highest rate for this one was.
I don't know, like, did you get to like 110?
No.
120?
No.
Lower? 99?
It was only 100 for this movie.
Oh, okay.
Only 100.
You didn't get... Okay, you weren't that stressed out with this one?
No, I think it was because it was a lot of different moving parts for me.
Yeah.
Because...
I don't know if I expected the dad at the end to die.
I think also because it's like, when it got to the point, it's like, you have 6 people hiding in a bathroom on a train. And there's a zombie right there. Mm-hmm. How scared are you?
Okay.
That's not very... Because if it can bust through the glass, you make any subtle sound.
Oh, I see.
That door's not very...
strong.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah. 100.
Okay. All right. That's not too bad. Number 7 on the zombie movie watch list for the week was World War Z. A decently stressful zombie movie. It's based on a book. Oh. Not book accurate.
Okay.
Is what I hear. I have not read the book, but all I hear about it is that it's not book accurate.
Okay.
Which makes me wonder what the book is about, because this movie has a lot of stuff going on.
It does.
There's a lot going on in this movie. Brad Pitt is sexy zombie guy. Running from zombies the whole time. That's the thing about this movie. There's like, have you seen that movie 2012? Or no, Day After Tomorrow? No, 2012. Where it's like
a long time ago. It sounds familiar.
Where it's like all the world catastrophes are happening, but it's like always right behind them. That's kind of how this movie is. Like the zombie, it's like always like no matter where Brad Pitt goes, it's like always the next zombie thing is like happening. It's like like there's no safety. Of course, there's no safety in a zombie apocalypse, but it's like, oh yeah, we've reached the walls of the city, and now the zombies are coming. And now we are in a plane, and now the zombies are there, and now we're at the the Center for Disease Control, and now the zombies are there. You know, it's always happening right behind him. So, but as far as I can tell, when we were watching this, my wife got pretty stressed out. So we'll see how she feels about it.
I liked this movie.
It was good.
It was super stressful, but like now, for me, I'm into it. I'm into it now because it feels like when you're on a roller coaster, like you know a dip is coming, but you can't see in the way the roller coaster, because you know how like sometimes the tracks go a different way. When that dip is coming, like, oh, there's a high point. Oh, but we're going to a low point. I liked this movie.
Me too.
A lot. It pops off immediately. Like most of them do, but for me, this shit popped off.
Oh,
quick.
With like
they're like making breakfast. Next, you know, they're in the car going to school. Boom, things are getting bombed.
Is it that fast?
People are running. Yeah. It happens super fast, and I like that in a movie. The only thing I will say is that when they did go to, it wasn't Israel,
Jerusalem, I think.
Oh yeah, no, but before that, when they went to go meet the other army guys.
Oh, I can't remember where they were at.
It was like 4 of them in a plane. It was like Brad Pitt, the doctor, and I think 2 other guys. It's like, in my mind, how are you gonna go? If there was no one at this camp that was alive, how are you going to go take on zombies with 4 guys? Doctor ends up offing himself immediately on his own account.
The virologist guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete accident. Scooby wants his space. There you go. And
it was an accident, though.
It was an accident, but it's like, come on, man. Who gave this guy again, first of all? He's like a doctor.
True.
And he was supposed to help figure things out. You know. But I thought it was really good. I thought the ending was super cool. It was super cool because I mean that's realistic. That's a realistic thing.
That they would find out what virus to give people for the camouflage thing.
No one's gonna eat a cow that they know has mad cow disease, and this is how these movies start out. It's either mad cow disease, rabies outbreak, some kind of sick thing. You know, no one's gonna eat anything that is not good for them. So why wouldn't it be the same way for a zombie? You know, it's tainted flesh.
Sure.
Thought it was great though. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I would give it like. I would give this movie like an 8 out of 10 stressful.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty stressful, especially at the end where he's trying to go into like get the viruses and stuff like that. That was
and the guy at the end, he's like, I hate that noise. That's like the worst part.
Yeah.
So I guess my heart rate for this one.
I'm gonna say 109.
109. Final answer.
117.
Final answer.
Sure.
It was 111.
Oh dang, that's pretty. That's a good spike.
Pretty high.
That's a good spike.
Pretty high. I was going. Austin came home.
Can you remember what kind of part spiked it the most for you?
I think.
Was it near the end?
I think it was just all throughout.
And those like virus fall. This movie was like very fast paced. It never slowed down. Like as soon as you think, like that was a good point you said. Like as soon as you think it slows down, it builds right back up.
I think the part like was when Austin came home from work. I'm like, get out of there. He's like, what are you watching? I'm like, World War Z. And I wasn't even like 20 minutes in at that point.
Yeah, she was like at the very beginning. So I've seen it before, and we watched it again together. But she started it before I got home, and I was like already like it. I think I even said it. This movie just started. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think one of the part that got me is when they were all trying to get over the wall of Jerusalem.
I think it was Jerusalem.
Yeah, and they're all
or was
just
it?
climbing.
It might have been Israel.
They're all just
or
climbing.
Was it Jerusalem?
They're all
I don't
just
know.
climbing, and then they pile up and they just start falling over and like running rampant. I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down. It was crazy, but Brad Pitt always makes it out.
Yeah,
he always makes it out.
You can't put a guy like Brad Pitt in your movie and have him not make it. All right, we'll talk about
Night of the Living Dead.
Okay. Number 8 zombie movie on the list, George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead from 1968. Okay, first of all, my whole thing I'm going to say about this movie is I wish I watched this movie in 1968.
Agreed.
Because watching it in 2025, it's not scary. It's dumb. It's lame. It's ridiculously dumb. The writing is terrible. The acting is bad. Everything about it is terrible. It's not a good movie. But if you watched it in 1968, I would imagine that you would think it's a great zombie film.
It is a classic, though.
It's a classic. I like that it's black and white.
And it paved the way for a lot of the zombie films.
Sure.
The acting is pretty gnarly. It's bad.
Like the lady who's in like shock the whole time, I can't buy it.
Yeah, I missed like a little bit of the ending. Like there's a gap for me because my sister came over randomly, but she ended up watching the end with me a little bit. It's just the makeup was very humanized. Everyone still looked like
it was a dude in like sweatpants and a polo shirt. It was
and
like
I think his face was like you can tell like it was like painted.
The main guy, like the main zombie guy.
Yeah,
in the beginning.
Yeah, it was bad. But I think that if you're a person obviously who likes classic films, it's in there. Obviously.
If you like old like Hitchcock and like black and white horror films, you can appreciate this from like an art standpoint. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but I'm just saying it like the fact that it's the first time I've ever watched this movie, and I read the reviews on Google. Everyone's like, this started the zombie franchise, the zombie like craze. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that sucked is that I called it though at the end. I told Tanisha, I was like, watch his ass get shot. And
there's one in the window.
There's one in the window. I'm like, first of all, what kind of zombie would be carrying a
rifle?
A shot thing?
Or a shotgun? Yeah.
I was trying to say a gun, but you said it. So a shotgun, and then pointing it out of the window, and you say, oh, just take him out.
Yeah.
Burn him with the rest of them.
Yeah.
But my sister made a very valid point, and I don't want to sound racist or colorist or anything like that, but it was a film in 1968, and he was an African-American man. So they were probably just...
you think at the time that that's just something that they would have done?
I don't know if it's something that they would have done, but they were probably just like, screw it, or they were trying to do like...
Damage control? Containment?
Like how they did, and 28 weeks later, how they just said blow everything up or kill everybody because we know we're good.
They literally just said kill everybody that moves.
And that's another thing about 28 weeks later. Kill everything that moves.
Yeah.
If you're not military...
Or somehow protected or
drop a bomb, kill it, wipe it out.
Yeah.
We'll do like other final thoughts at the end about certain little movies, and I'll say the movie too.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't even take my heart rate for this movie. I'm not gonna lie, because it wasn't very. Also, I had a resting heart rate, 82, normal.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like if I go back and watch it, I have respect for this movie. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I have an appreciation for this movie. I love movies that we need to watch more old movies.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not easy to make this movie.
Yeah, no.
If you think about it, 1968, they had like fires and they had like the Molotov cocktails and like the explosion of that truck and stuff like that. They had a lot of, and it looked very practical. And there was like fire stunts. It looked practical. It's probably,
and then the girlfriend, or if it was a girlfriend, I'm gonna go with him
into the truck, and the guy's like, get out of here. And then the main guy, the black guy, he's like, we gotta get away from the truck. And then he's like, okay. And then hops
in the truck. Yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure the director, we don't know the director's name.
George A. Romero.
There you go.
George
had
Romero.
Really good intentions, obviously, at the time period that this film was made. But questionable decisions.
No, so like George Romero was the guy who did the original Dawn of the Dead movie from like 1970. So he had like a original trilogy. It was like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and then like Land of the Dead or something like that. I forgot what the last one was called, but he had like a of the Dead trilogy, and he is credited in a lot of zombie movies. He's credited in that Planet Terror movie, which I think might have been actually directed by him. I want to say he might have directed or had credits in like what's that movie called? I can't remember. Okay, back on track. Night of the Living Dead. 5 out of 10 stressful.
Yeah.
Not very stressful. I do agree with like the character arcs in that movie, how they kind of went from like decently centered to like kind of getting crazy, because I feel like that's how it would be. I like that it kind of like was at dusk and then night was like the entire movie. I like that part of it. So
I like and I also hate the subtle quietness of when things go. It's like everything can be going mayhem. I can be, or chaos, or whatever. I can be like hiding in a bathroom, and then all of a sudden, I'm hiding in the bathroom in the movie, and you hear it just stops like that, and you're like, what the hell is about to happen? And I think that's when my heart starts to spike, is because,
or like even like all of like the ambient sound stops and
right
stuff.
And it's like the person slides open the door and they poke their head out and there's nothing there, and they take 2 steps out, and then all of a sudden like 10 of them are rushing at you.
Sure.
That is like gets me going.
That's pretty high stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9 zombie movie on the list that we watched, Zombieland. Very awesome classic movie. I watched it in theaters. Super funny, super great. Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, Abigail Breslin. The list goes on. Classic cast of people. I like the zombies in this movie because they do seem smart enough to like climb ladders and open doors and stuff like that, so it adds another layer of like suspense. But yeah, I love this movie a lot. I think it's good. I think the comedy of it cuts the scariness.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I think I've seen Zombieland like a long time ago. I don't think I've really paid attention to it. There was one scene that I was getting confused within a different zombie movie we watched, of like the big guy in the grocery store, and Austin was like, no, that's Zombieland. And I was like, okay, so maybe I remember like certain aspects of the film. Remember yesterday I was like, oh, isn't this the part where the big guy comes out? And you were like, no, you're thinking of Zombieland.
Oh yeah.
We were watching. It wasn't Where Was He?
It might have been Dead
whatever.
Don't Die.
Yeah, whatever.
It might have been Dead Don't Die or Dawn of the Dead or something.
Yeah, but yeah, it was Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like that's Zombieland. I was like, okay, so I remember like little clips of it. If you attack me, it's gonna be over for you. We will give our cat up for adoption. But I thought it was good.
No, it's a good movie.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. Obviously, there wasn't any stress level because it's more comedic. I love what's his name. What is his name?
The curly-haired guy?
Yeah, and
Jesse Eisenberg.
Dude, I love him. He's him
in Carnage. Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
For me, he makes the movie.
Yeah.
He makes the movie. Everything else behind is like an afterthought, but like he make. See, even stuff like that. I'm saying like in zombie movies. Sorry, our neighbor's door just creaked open. But even stuff like that in zombie movies creep me out. He makes the movie. All of his small commentary. Bill Murphy being in it was amazing. Bill Murray, sorry. Him pretending to be a zombie, but he's actually alive and then getting dies. Shot. That was great. I thought it was good.
Yeah, no, Zombieland is definitely, if you like zombie movies, you gotta watch Zombieland for sure. I would say a 5 out of 10 stressful. Not that stressful. A few stressful moments. But definitely more comedic, scary, but not too leaning into like the scary aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was good. I'll probably watch it again.
Yeah.
If for me, like and also the fun thing about it is like when we do these segments or watch all these movies that we've never watched before, it's always like, this is a movie I can throw on. Like this is a movie I can like watch over and over again.
Sure.
It's not like a one and done. Like Night of the Living Dead, probably a one and done. We might watch it again just to see if we can get like an actual like feel for the classic films.
See if it like flows faster because it seemed that it was short, but it was like long.
Yeah, but Zombieland, I feel like if I'm cooking dinner or sweeping the floor, throw that movie on and I'll get like a couple laughs out of it.
And even if it's like, even if you're not watching it, you still hear it and there's like good quotes and like good funny parts.
Knowing me and Austin at some point, like on a random Saturday, if we've had a couple booze, we might go get like Knuck Up or Shut Up tattooed on our shoulder or something just because we're that dumb. But we would get it like somewhere completely random.
Do you think you could say what I think my favorite part of Zombieland is? It's a very random part and it happens very fast.
No.
Okay. My favorite part of this movie, guys, is when...
Better not be the Twinkies.
No.
Okay.
No. Is when the character Columbus is like, I gotta go number 2. And then he's going to the bathroom. And then Tallahassee's in the truck. He's got the knife. He goes, hoo, ha, hoo, hoo, ha, and he's going like that. That's my favorite part.
I was also getting ready I seen some, but I was doing more listening, but
sure.
Not like a bunch because I was also yelling at him to set stuff up. So I thought it was good though. I think my favorite part of Zombieland was probably at the end when he locks himself in the game, puts the cages around him. What's his name again?
Tallahassee. Woody Harrelson.
And he puts all of his...
And he puts the clips. Yeah.
And then he just like starts going at it and then puts him down and then starts going at it again.
Unloads and then does it.
Yeah, that was probably like my favorite part.
And he's like going like this. And
and it's just like... This man don't care, but again, he doesn't care because he's lost.
And then
he's lost everything.
He's a very strong motivation. But then it cuts to him, and he's like on top of like the whole thing, all the bodies. Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Number 10 zombie movie that we watched, Zombieland Double Tap, the sequel to Zombieland. I thought it was good. I wish it came out earlier, but I think it justified in like the scope of like the movie that it's been that long in the movie as well, that they've been together for that long, you know?
Also, disclaimer here, I watched only about 30 minutes of this movie today.
Yeah.
So hopefully Richard doesn't spoil too much.
I didn't even see the end.
Oh, Austin.
I also didn't watch the very end of the movie. Okay. I think I have still 20 minutes left.
Okay.
30 minutes left.
I do have some thoughts about it so far, though.
Yeah. Well, let's hear some thoughts then.
So far, this blonde chick is living in a mall by herself, and when they walked in, they already offed 2 zombies. And it's like, what weapons were you using?
How did she survive?
She's like, I'm a vegetarian. Then what? I
was in a fridge for 2 years or whatever.
I was in a freezer for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think, and don't spoil it, but I think it's not like a setup, but I think she's like not actually who she says she is. So that's a thought of mine. So far so good. I love how Tallahassee is like portraying like the father figure.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That part is funny.
But my other prediction is that the guy that, what's her name?
The hippie guy?
Yeah. What's the girl's name? Not Dakota. What's her name?
The young girl?
Yeah.
Little Rock.
And the guy. I think the hippie guy that she's with is going to end up with the blonde chick. I think they're going to finally meet up and they're going to end up together.
Okay.
Just prediction. And then whatever her Little Rock is going to be like, what's going on? Anyways, that's another thing. But so far, so good. So far, so good for me.
Yeah. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
The pace is good. It's not like...
They're in the White House.
Too slow. They're in the White House. The cat. They introduce like a whole nother cast of characters, which is pretty funny. That it gets into later. So we won't talk about it too much, but we will finish the movie and revisit it in another episode, or we'll revisit it and talk about it so you guys can hear our thoughts. But Zombieland Double Tap. So far, Similar, not too stressful.
That's
funny.
why I asked him, because when I started the first Zombieland, when he was saying his rules, he was like, first rule, cardio. Second rule, double tap. So I was like, am I watching the first one?
Yeah.
Because I got confused.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned it. So
the opening of the second one is different.
Yeah, I do like the double tap rule though. Shoot him to get him, or pew him to get him down, and then
just to make sure.
Yeah, and then you know,
right,
cranium. So I think that's a good logic to go. We're learning a lot just in case.
Yes, just
we
in
have
case.
so much going on in the world right now.
There's a lot of these movies that are probably pretty accurate in terms of in terms of how to deal with this type of stuff. So, all right. So that's going to be our movies that we all watched collectively. Mm-hmm. Movies that I watched on my own that I have seen before in the past. A movie called Warm Bodies, starring Nicholas Hoult, is a zombie romance movie where the zombies like eat the people's brains and like gain characteristics or memories. And, And like, so like the guy Nicholas Hoult, he's like a zombie. And the one girl gets like trapped in like zombie territory, and the zombie guy is like teaching her how to like emulate being a zombie so she doesn't get eaten.
I think I've seen a clip of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Franco is in it. John Malkovich is in it. There's some good people in it. But like the more that they eat, the more that they can kind of like resemble or like learn, or like more memories they gain essentially, or like more characteristics they gain. So they have like some language and like emotions and things like that. It's decent. It's a pretty good movie. It's actually pretty good. If you want to watch a zombie romance movie, I would say go ahead. Not very stressful. Definitely more of a, I think somebody online called it a zom-com, because it's like a rom-com, but a zombie movie. The next movie that I really like, that's kind of like zombie based, is called Doomsday. Do you remember I was watching this movie? It's like a British movie.
I don't think so.
Remember like the very end, they go into like this like hangar, like this like warehouse hangar, and they like find a car and like a cell phone, and they're like, they just found a car. You remember that? Okay. So it's a British movie. It's like a zombie, like apocalyptic movie kind of thing. I love this movie. It's awesome. So you guys should go watch Doomsday. I think it came out in like 2007 or something. Yeah, you should watch it. It's really good. I'm pretty sure she's seen me watching it, but she tuned it out because she doesn't like the movies that I watch, but it's fine.
I don't.
Another movie that I watched that my wife has not seen is called #Alive, a Korean movie, zombie movie.
I've seen like maybe 5 or 10 minutes of it, like when they're in that school hallway. Like when they're in that hallway or whatever.
It's like an apartment. It's an apartment building.
Yeah, well, whatever it is. I've seen that.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not watching this right now. I'm going to scroll on TikTok because I wasn't a fan of zombie movies.
Sure. This movie I actually like. This movie is pretty good. It's pretty stressful. It shows like another accurate portrayal of like what you would do if you were just trapped in your apartment and you have enough food to survive, and you go foraging, and then the end happens, but I won't spoil it because I want my wife to watch it, because this movie is actually pretty good. I like this movie a lot. Definitely sad. Definitely a lot of sad moments, but definitely very good. Another movie that I watched it last night. It's called Maggie.
And that's the same girl from Zombieland, yeah?
Yes, it is. It's Abigail Breslin. She's in Zombieland movies. It stars, what's the guy's name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's like her dad, and so the whole premise is that she has like a zombie bite. But the way that it works is it's more of kind of like an infection that builds instead of like turning immediately into like a zombie. And it's kind of like you become like infected and not completely a zombie, because some of the people in the movie have said that like the zombie people will bite them, but then one guy said, I saw in their eyes that they had regret, or like they can like see emotion. So it's like you're doing it, but then you sometimes have like could have like a realization like, oh, I don't want to do this, you know? So I thought it was really good. You know what's going to happen in the end. But the way that it gets to that, I think is good. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is really good in it. He's not like the big action hero. He's just like a
regular dad.
He's a regular dad. He's
trying to save his daughter.
He's trying to save his daughter. and he lives on a farm, and he chops wood, and he's just a everyman, and there's not a single really action. It's not an action zombie movie. Okay. It's more of a drama. It's more of a drama zombie movie. It's a zama. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was actually pretty good. So go watch Maggie. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for our zombie movie discussion, guys. Are there any final thoughts about any of these movies you want to revisit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, because I forgot. And this is a good one. And Austin's going to agree with this one. In worldwarz, the part where the zombie bites the girl's hand and he immediately just
cuts her arm
chops it off. Like, no hesitation, chops it off and starts counting to see, because he has timed how long it takes for people to turn.
Okay.
And she doesn't turn. And then they get on this plane, and then this stewardess presses a button till they go like downstairs somewhere on a plane to get like towels, and there's a zombie downstairs, and then the zombie comes up.
Was it an elevator thing? I thought it was the bathroom door.
It was like a shaft. No. She presses the button that says down.
Oh, really?
And then there's like a zombie there, and then the zombie attacks her, and now she's turning everyone on the plane, and then now that he like has to bust this hole through the plane, and then everyone's getting sucked out through the side. Stressful.
Oh yeah.
Stressful.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then Austin's like, they're not gonna make it, but surprisingly, because it's Brad Pitt, he buckles his seatbelt, even though normally like chairs would get sucked out too through the hole. He makes it.
I mean, they're bolted down pretty good.
Then why were all the other chairs flying out?
It wasn't the chairs. It was just
chairs were flying out too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they didn't put on no parachute. They didn't put on no life vest. They just said we're going down with the plane.
I know.
Nothing.
And then those
for you to
pilots...
be like part of the United Nations, you don't put on anything. You don't put on a parachute. You don't put on a parachute.
No.
And then they shipped the wife off somewhere. The whole sorry, I know this is a lot, but the whole idea of that movie was your wife stays on the boat as long as you take this mission. Right?
Oh, and then they had to get rid of her, essentially?
And then
they shipped her off?
He goes and they ship her off.
Yeah.
Without telling him.
Mm.
No phone call. And he's like, I did all I could. If you're running ship, you didn't do all you could.
Oh, who, that guy? Like
yeah.
the friend guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. That was like the only final thought of any of those movies that we've watched is that watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it and let us know what you guys think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Any final thoughts on any of the movies?
Do you want to do just like a super quick thumbs up, thumbs down on our list?
Sure.
All right. 28 days later. Thumbs up. 28 weeks later. Thumbs up. Dawn of the Dead. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll do middle.
Middle? I like it. The Dead Don't Die. Thumbs down. I'm sorry. The Night Eats the World. I'm going to do thumbs up. Train to Busan. I'm going to do thumbs up. Zombieland. I'm going to do thumbs up. We won't do Zombieland Double Tap right now because we haven't watched it all the way through. Night of the Living Dead. I'll do middle.
Yeah, we'll do maybe.
I'll do middle. worldwarz. Thumbs up. Definitely. That movie's pretty good. So I'll do Warm Bodies. Middle. Maggie. Thumbs up. Hashtag Alive. I'll do thumbs up. Doomsday. I'll do thumbs up. You should watch it. Go watch them. Go watch zombie movies. Let us know your favorite zombie movie. And yeah. Do you have a question of the day?
I do.
Wow.
Ray has a question of the day.
Ooh, bars. Yo.
Ray has a question of the day.
Get it. Yo.
Okay. If there was a zombie apocalypse, would you either try to fight to stay alive, or would you just let the end all be all? That is my question, number one. Your thoughts? What would you do?
Well, I would definitely try to survive as long as I could.
Yeah?
Yeah. Every time we have like a zombie apocalypse scenario question in my friend group, like with like Chris and them, I'm always the guy who's going to volunteer to like be the driver. I'm going to go into town. I'm going to go get some supplies. I'm always that. That's how it's been since I was like 19. So I hope it doesn't change now. I like to believe I'm smart about it, that I could do it right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My answer would be fight for as long as I can to do all the things that I want to do before I die. So if it meant that I wanted to, like for instance, in Zombieland, they went to like the
Pacific Playland,
or whatever. Anything I wanted to do. I wanted to visit China. If I wanted to...
How can you get to China?
I figured it out. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, dude.
Sure, okay. Like a bucket list thing. Okay.
Yeah, like if I wanted to have a shopping spree, the malls are open. I can just grab the shit and put it in a bag.
Yeah, that's called... That's called... What's that? That's called looting.
But everyone is zombies. I'm just saying, like, all the things that I wanted to do. If I had a bucket list,
yeah,
I would try to do that bucket list. And once I feel like I have fulfilled that bucket list, I would keep fighting until that bucket list.
And you would just starve to death?
Not essentially starve to death, but I would just let it be the end. End of me.
You would let bygones be
I wouldn't
bygones?
go looking too far for other people. Like, I would do the things that would bring me fulfillment and the things that I wanted to do in life, I think.
All right.
I think. Instead of potentially starving to death. Or potentially losing my mind and ending that way, ending on a way of like, I've done everything I've wanted to do and this is what the world is now, sadly, and I don't know if in 15 years it's going to be better. Can I stay alive for 15 years? Can I fight for 15 years? Probably not.
You'd be surprised at the strength of the human spirit.
Yeah, but a lot of time in those movies, they go to these places where they say, oh, like, this is a station that is like, good, and they get to that station and that station is not good. The station's gone. It's already been overcome with zombies. And now I'm there by myself, and there's 2,700,000 zombies coming at me.
Yeah,
so I would just stay like undercover, move along quietly.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
All right, second question.
Sure.
Second question of today is, if there was a zombie apocalypse, where would you want, when the outbreak happened, where would you want to be at?
I was kind of thinking of a similar question. Like, where would you go first kind of thing?
Not even that, first? Like, where, like, ideal, like, would you...
I would want to be on a beach. I would want to be with my back to the water.
Well, I'm saying, like, let's say, like, a zombie apocalypse happened, and you were... Like, if you just could coincidentally be in a certain place.
In the city?
Coincidentally be in a certain place, where would you want to be? Not go to that place, like coincidentally.
Oh, well,
be at a certain location.
I would definitely want to be on a beach. I would definitely want to be with my back to a big body of water.
Why?
Because zombies don't like water. They don't be doing all that kind of water.
That's not true, because in 28 weeks later, they was hopping in the water after that boat.
I mean, true, and like the crazy zombies in Resident Evil be swimming and stuff, but...
You know where I want to be? Walmart.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Why don't I?
Everyone's like, I want to go to Costco. It's like when one person becomes a zombie.
Not Costco. Like, I want to be in Walmart.
Why?
Because they have GUNs there.
There's GUNs in Costco.
Is there?
I think so.
I want to be at a place wherever that has GUNs and has food.
Yeah.
That's it. And also, there's cars at Walmart because people get their oil changed. I can get car supplies. I'm taking someone's minivan. I'm stocking up on tires.
And
I'm stocking up on all the supplies. I'm grabbing one of those, and I'm going because the GUNs are right there by the auto part.
By the camping stuff as well.
I'm getting a fishing pole, and I'm getting some fishing hooks,
a hatchet,
and I'm getting a hatchet. I'm taking all the camping. I would want to be on
propane. Take propane.
Because the thing about it though is, if you're in the back of the store of Walmart, our Walmart, you have time to hear screams from the front. So if you go to the food, you can run to the side, grab some food, go to the side, get the GUN, steal a car, and get out of the back door. Hopefully.
You could probably just go out like the back, like the loading dock sides. Yeah.
Exactly. Or I'll just steal a truck. With a trailer attached, pack all my stuff in there.
You know how to drive that?
I can figure it out.
True.
I can figure it out.
Not my mom, depended on it?
My mom can't even drive a U-Haul, apparently. But that's okay. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Ma. Yeah, awesome questions. What about you guys? How do you think you would be able to survive in this type of scenario? That's going to do it here for Zombie Week at the Nerd Lounge 2.0. Thank you so much for nerding out with us. My name is Austin. This is my beautiful wife, Ray. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know what your favorite zombie show movie is. And check in next week when we talk about something different at the Nerd Lounge. So, as always, stay nerdy.